Hey guys, welcome to Focus Performance Training. It's been a while in between videos because I'm on a little bit of an adventure myself in quite a different environment rather than my garage gym, which I'm really missing right now. But the purpose of today's video is I want to talk about depth for back squats. How deep do you need to squat? Do you need to squat? Do you need to use a back squat? I'm going to try and provide some clarity to those points today. Try and talk about them in sort of general terms, so you can start to make better decisions for your training. And if you do need to squat arse to grass, or if you're better off doing some box squats or some quarter squats, and what may be more, I guess, specific to your, or give you the tools to choose the right tool for the job. And sort of I use this analogy the other day in my post is, if you're going to put in a whole bunch of fence palings along the fence, you want to try and get a drill or a nail gun so you can go through, put the fence paling in, just drill it in, move, or nail gun, move on. You don't want to be sitting there with a hand screw the whole time, just screwing the nail in, because you're going to take about 5 minutes to do one fence paling when you could have done 10 in that time. So we need to use the same sort of approach to our training, choosing the right tool for the job so that we don't waste time trying to get the result that we want again and again and again. So when we look at back squats, or let's look at squats in general. Now, from my perspective, they're a knee dominant movement, but they are used for power, they're used for strength, but they're not the be all and end all. We use a 1RM squat to present or to show how strong we are in that pattern. But that doesn't mean that we're going to be necessarily good at our sport or what we're squatting for. I use the example of a powerlifter. They squat because that's the main skill they need to do for their sport. Compare that to, say, a rugby player. The squat will help them develop qualities to be better at their sport, but having a good squat does not mean you're going to be a good rugby player. So we need to keep that into context. So when we are looking at our program and what we're going to do with our squat, we need to look at what phase of training we're in first and foremost. Are we in pre-season, off-season, in-season? What phase? And they're the three big ones we can look at. So let's look at off-season. Now, if you're in the off-season part of the program, I'd probably look at getting some form of variability in and trying to get some full range in your squat. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do a back squat. You can do a front squat, you can do a safety bar squat. For those rugby players, AFL players, or league players who've had shoulder reconstructions or have had problems with their shoulder, a back squat might not be a viable option, just because you may not have the mobility to get your hands back to this position here, so you may have to settle with a safety bar across your shoulders. And that's still going to provide you with a good stimulus. It's going to help you stay nice and upright, and if anything, it's going to bias your quads a whole lot more, or bias you using your quads more than posterior chain sitting back. Front squat's a good option there as well. It's going to be a little bit more of a forward lean than a safety bar, but it's still a good option. Now, in the off season, for most rugby or team field sport athletes, I'd probably promote going to full depth, or to full depth as comfortable. Now, why is that? Well, because in season, we're probably going to move away from that because it's a greater range of motion, and we're going to be looking to maintain or develop strength or maintain power throughout the in season. So that's where the majority of our work can be done. So let's get something a little bit different. Let's use that principle of variability in this point just here. Now, how deep do you need to go? What depth is sort of appropriate? And that's all dependent on your body type and how you move. Okay, so if you can't get the depth and you can't get an arse to grass squat, being your hamstrings and your calves, without sacrificing spinal integrity and good position, the ability to maintain a solid brace or hips to rib stack, and there's no point going there because you're going to open yourself up to a whole lot more injury. So go to the point where you can maintain a good stack, that is hips to ribs, nice and strong through your torso, so that we're not compromising through our back and opening ourselves up to injury under load, because that's the last thing you want to do. So we need to get that point and find the point that's comfortable, that we can still get maybe a greater range of motion and sort of put the muscle fibers on as much stretch as possible so they can contract through a full range of motion. Now, if we move forward into pre-season, we may have less sessions squatting to full depth, and we may start to incorporate some half squats and quarter squats, because they've been shown to have quite a big or a greater effect on our vertical jump and our ability to produce power. So in the off season, we want to develop strength qualities. okay? Because those strength qualities will help us recruit higher order motor units, or the nerves that will recruit more and larger muscle fibers. We then want to transfer that, or have some form of transference effect into our pre-season, where we develop more power capabilities or repeated power explosiveness. And then we want to try and maintain that during season, okay? We can even push this into sort of a weightlifters or someone who's competing once in 12 weeks. Far away, we want to develop qualities that are not the same or quite different to what we're going to express over here in the specific phase, okay? So this is sort of sum this up, I've gone around in circles a little bit here, and I apologise for that. But the big thing is we need to be more appropriate with our selection of what we're doing. We choose the right tool for it. And when we're getting close to competition, or we need to do that, we need to create or choose the most appropriate tool for that, or for that specific outcome. So we need to look at when I'm using, so let's use a squat as just an example in this video. Why am I squatting? What am I doing that for? If it's to develop strength, cool. What range of motion do I need to develop strength in, or am I trying to do it for a general physical preparation reason? Or am I trying to do it for a very specific reason? Because both have their place, and they both need to be incorporated into a program some way or form. Okay, so if you don't know how low you can go with your squat, or you're unsure, reach out to me. We'll go through, we can do a few sort of screens, look at what your best foot position is, and we can go from there how to brace, all that sort of stuff. And if I can't do it, I'll pass it on to someone else who can, who's very good at it. They're your two options there, okay? I'm not someone who's scared of referring out to someone who's better than me or has a better understanding of biomechanics, because they're out there. And I'd be silly to sort of hold on to that. I'm good at one things and they're good at other things. And that's one thing I sort of pride myself on, is being able to refer out to the correct people at the correct time. Guys, thanks for watching. This has gone for about 7 minutes. I appreciate you getting this far. I want everyone to have a really good Christmas, enjoy it, take time off, relax. I was having a conversation with someone on Instagram today about the importance of taking time off and to enjoy it, have that switching off, being able to switch off effectively, okay? I think that's really important, and to get away from what we're doing. So have some time off, enjoy it. Don't hate yourself for having a few drinks and eating too much turkey. This is the best time for it. Get around family and enjoy it, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.